Hi everybody, this is Kanai and welcome. I just wanted to make a few notes about Diablo 4 character and their development, specifically for the NPCs. Right now, I am in Act 2. I'm compared to everybody, a lot of other people. I am not that far along. I'm kind of taking it slow. So far, I have encountered two NPC character deaths, which are Venard, Neril's mother, and Vigo. What prompted me to comment on it was that the developer has spent quite a long time, you could say extensive amount of work into displaying the tragedy of their death. Neril's mother and Vigo as well. Especially the second time you go down the dungeon with Neril, where she encounters her mother once more. Well, already dead, right? Still, but then she starts mourning and all that. And that time period of cinematic is, I think, in my opinion, very extensive because to me, I really didn't care about their deaths for either of the characters. Um, Venard, we encounter her relatively quickly, and then she's off. And then, yes, it is tragic for Neril, and she needs bereavement. But for me, from a player, I have no investment in that character. Vigo, he's a bit different story, right? He is, you encounter him, he takes a bribe, which is not what something a knight penitent would do, and then he feels bad about it and goes on sort of a not pilgrimage, but he on a redemption arc, right? But I barely encountered him. I barely know him. To me, he's just like, oh, okay, cool. I guess you're gonna be just give me some information here and there. But the amount of time I, as a character in D&D, not D&D, Diablo 4, spend is not very significant to where I really care about him. And the amount, like, the developer wanted to express a redemption arc, right? So they went along this development, what the scene that he has done, and then try to initiate the redemption. But it is barely any content there. I barely develop any relationship with him as a character. I really, oh, okay, he is just a meat shield in the boss fight to me, really, and then he dies ultimately, right? I think a better um, arc for him would have been he wants to go on the redemption, right? And you see as you go along through the campaign, him um, changing, repenting, and maybe even um, giving advice to other knights penitents or even NPCs, basic civilians, on the tenants of the cathedral and things like that. So when developer spends this much time trying to initiate this redemption arc and ultimately just snuffs the candle out, I, well, one, I don't really care, and two, I think it would have been a waste of time for the developer. They could have, if he was gonna snuff out like that, they could have made them a already developed, like, righteous knight who's, you're okay. He is a badass, and then he comes along to help us out, or and then ultimately dies. And then, like, okay, yeah, he died in the line of duty. That's kind of like, okay, I can get it. But you initiate the arc. I can, okay, cool. Like, this guy may be there for a little while, but then he just boom and dead. I mean, like, oh, okay. I guess developer didn't really care. He was there just for a meat shield, so the whole thing of redemption arc is useless. So yes, a lot of people probably care more about means and maxing the characters, the all the imbalances of the and the nerves of the characters, and I can understand that. But if you're gonna go into character development, and ultimately, really, I personally didn't care. I think a better character development was in the Mass Effect series. I cared about the characters because I went along missions, which almost everyone I had my favorites, but I go along. They talk about their personal things. I can understand them. I know them, and where to the point where in the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC, where you have a party with all the characters are still surviving for all for from all three games. I had a picture of all of them in it. I did not miss anybody unless it was specifically scripted or you had to make a choice between one or the other in the first one. But in this one, I'm like, okay, he's just there and then he is not. There's no relationship for me with them. That is really it. Let me know if you agree. If you don't, maybe I'm thinking a little bit too far into it. Maybe you think the amount of development that was done by developer is just enough. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys.